most people don't want to talk about, or most people have not seen the need to talk about, especially the fact that um, they don't see the relationship between climate change and mental health. People just treat mental health as it is, as an individual topic. Okay, they don't see the relationship between climate change and mental health. But of course, there is a relationship because most of these crises, these young people face, gets to affect them mentally. And we talk about anxiety, we talk about depression that comes with, just living in the community and seeing the daily events that play out in those communities is enough to make one, suffer from any of the mental health cases or situation or crisis. And so we've seen people who have been involved in the flood incidents last year. We know how it has been for them, to like come out of that, of that trauma, the fact that they've lost lives, the lives of their loved ones. They've lost their livelihood because most people are still job hunting, and they've also lost access to some of their resources they've had, and it has all contributed one way or the other to how they feel, how they now see life, and how they want to, bounce back from the situation. And so you see the need for young people to actually be engaged in conversations around climate change and mental health. How I balance my mental health with all of this is I try to find out what is within my control, what is actually within my control to actually be able to do. I have the things that are within my control to do. I have the things not within my control. The mental crises people face, the climate change crisis people face, are not within my control, but the solutions I can prefer within my control are the kind of solutions I will be able to prefer. So one of the things I do is just find out what is within my control, and so I don't break down trying to meet all their needs or solve all the problems, and another thing I do is who do I have to talk to? How can I collaborate with people to ensure that we're preferring the right solutions to these people? So because if you carry on those problems or you try to carry on tackling these challenges yourself, you may just break down from trying to do so much for the community. But if you get to collaborate, if you get to sit back and think strategically on how you want to help them, what level of help can you prefer, then you'll be able to be able to guard your mental health while preferring solution, at the same time also be able to carry out an impact activity for those communities. So that's how I actually get to balance my own mental health with the kind of stories I hear as well. I would say the biggest problems are lack of information, to some committees about this climate change crisis, and how it affects them as well, and how they can actually how they can actually adapt to it, and then of course stay resilient to it. So I think that's the biggest problem. First of all, the lack of information. Most people are not aware, so we need to create more awareness for them, need to sensitize them. And then because if they're not well sensitized, it could lead to some forms of depression, some forms of anxiety, it could even lead to some forms of suicide as well. Because I think during the dialogue, somebody shared how a lady wanted to give out her baby because it was so much for her to handle during the flood crisis and all of that, and so most people do not even know how they can manage themselves when those crises come. And so you need to actually be able to address those needs, I would say, of those people, as it concerns education, climate education, climate change and mental health education, creating awareness, giving them more information about what is expected of them to do at every point in time, how to stay how to adapt to it if possible, and even how to stay resilient so they can bounce back from the situation or from the crisis. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges we have. The issue of mental health is something that's really, really rising, and it's up to us as young people to start having those conversations, within ourselves. First of all, even as climate change activists, you never can tell what somebody else is going through while trying to carry out a project. So it's important that we start having driving those conversations within ourselves as climate change activists, and then let it also go down to the people who are trying to create an impact, or make an impact in their life. So yeah, that's what I would say.